You know, there's a hidden ancient timekeeper inside every single one of us. It's this secret clock that is quietly running our entire lives. So today, we're going to dive in, figure out how it works, and maybe more importantly, how to wind it correctly.
I want you to just think about this for a second. What if your body had a master clock? A rhythm that dictates exactly when you feel energetic, when you get hungry, or when you're ready to fall asleep. Well, here's the thing. It's not a what if. It's absolutely real. And learning how to work with it, that's the key to unlocking your best health. All right, let's meet the hero of our story, your body's internal clock. Now, figuring this system out was such a big deal, the discovery of its mechanics actually won the Nobel Prize back in 2017. And this isn't just about getting a good night's sleep. We're talking about a fundamental process that coordinates your entire body. Okay, so this right here is the master clock. It's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN for short. I know, it sounds super complicated, but just think of it as the conductor for your body's orchestra. This tiny little cluster of cells, seriously no bigger than a grain of rice, is sending out signals that keep every organ, every system playing in perfect time. It's remarkable when you think about it. So how does this tiny clock actually, tick? Well, deep inside almost every cell in your body, there's this beautiful little dance happening. Just like you see here, these timekeeper proteins, they build up, they clump together, they waltz into the cell's nucleus to hit pause on their own genes for a bit, and then they just fade away. And that's what starts the whole 24-hour cycle all over again. This elegant little loop is the true heartbeat of your daily rhythm. And you can totally see how this microscopic clockwork plays out in your real life, right? That jolt of the hormone cortisol around 7 a.m., yeah, that's your clock yelling, hey, time to get up. That laser focus you might feel around 11 a.m., that's the perfect time to tackle a really tough problem. And that physical peak at 5 p.m., that's exactly why so many athletic records get shattered in the late afternoon. Your clock is literally prepping you for every single part of your day. Okay, but wait, how does this clock inside you know what time it is in the outside world? Well, let's get into the single most important signal it uses, which you'll see also sets up the central conflict of our modern lives: light. For the longest time, we just thought our eyes were for, well, seeing, but it turns out that's only half the story. Scientists made this incredible discovery. There's a second set of light-sensing cells in our eyes, and their only job is to tell your brain's clock whether it's day or night. Now, what's really cool is that unlike your vision cells, which adjust instantly, these clock cells take about 30 minutes to really react. It's a brilliant protective design, right? It means a quick camera flash or some passing headlights won't completely reset your entire day. So here's where we run into a big problem. Your clock needs a really strong light signal to stay on track. But just look at the gap on this chart. Our biology evolved to expect a signal over 1,000 lux. Think of a bright, sunny day. But your typical indoor light? It's less than half of that. We're effectively living our days in what you could call biological twilight, basically starving our clocks of the one signal they need the most. So this creates the core conflict of our modern lives, right? We get way too little bright light during the day, so our brain never gets a strong hates daytime signal. And then we're blasted with artificial light at night, which totally confuses the okay, time to wind down signal. It's this fundamental mismatch, and unfortunately, it has some pretty serious consequences. Which brings us to the villain of our story. What happens when our ancient, super finely tuned internal clock gets broken by our modern environment? Well, let's just say the results are not pretty. And there's a name for this state of internal chaos. Scientists call it sleep and circadian rhythm disruption, or SCRD for short. It's basically what happens when the life you're living is completely out of sync with the rhythm your body is desperately trying to keep. And the impact is staggering. This isn't just about feeling a little groggy. When you look at studies of long-term shift workers, people who live in a constant state of this disruption, they show a 40% increased risk of developing heart disease and mood disorders. That is a direct result of having a chronically broken clock. See, this disruption kicks off this dangerous cascade effect. First, that stress hormone, cortisol, gets all scrambled up, releasing at totally the wrong times. That, in turn, makes you feel way hungrier. We're talking an extra 300 to 500 calories a day. Over time, that can lead to higher blood pressure. And while all that's happening, your immune defenses get weaker, and your mood and ability to focus take a direct hit. It's a chain reaction that messes with nearly every system in your body. But okay, enough of the doom and gloom. Let's completely flip the script. Instead of talking about what goes wrong when the clock is broken, what goes right when it's working perfectly? Let's look at the incredible power of a healthy, synchronized rhythm.
This is such a perfect example of timing in action. Check this out. The same exact breakfast can have a wildly different effect on your body depending on when you eat it. If you eat it late at night, it can cause your blood sugar to spike 30% higher, all because your body just isn't primed to process food then. It proves it's not just what you eat, but when you eat that really matters.
And it's not just about food. Your immune system is on a clock too. This research is just astonishing. It turns out that morning vaccinations can trigger a 40% stronger immune response than the exact same vaccine given in the afternoon. Your body's ability to defend itself is literally stronger at certain times of day. It's amazing. And honestly, the power of timing is simply everywhere you look in our biology. Your kidneys are more efficient during the day. Fertility follows a daily rhythm. Even human birth has this predictable nightly peak. From our immune system to our major organs, it is crystal clear. Every part of our biology is dancing to this 24-hour beat. So this brings us to the final and really the most important question. How do we get back in sync? How do we take all this amazing knowledge and actually use it to reclaim our health? Let's build a practical toolkit.
Okay, here's your toolkit. It really starts with consistency. Just try to wake up and go to sleep around the same time, even on the weekends. Then anchor that wake-up time with some bright morning light. That sends a really powerful signal to your clock. At night, you do the opposite. Dim the lights to let that sleep hormone, melatonin, rise naturally. And throughout the day, maybe try to front-load your calories and schedule that tough workout for the afternoon when your performance is at its peak. These aren't rigid rules. They're just powerful ways to start working with your biology instead of against it.
So when you boil it all down, it really comes to this. Your body has this incredible ancient wisdom, a rhythm that's been perfected over millions of years. And in our busy, modern world, the most important question we can ask ourselves is simply, are we listening?